I just want you. I just want you.
Hey guys, Eve here, and today I did this look inspired by the next full moon, and the full moon in May is nicknamed the flower moon, and it turns out the reason why it has been dubbed the flower moon is because it usually signifies the time when most flowers are in bloom. The specific flowers that they usually refer to were bluebells and violets and indigo flowers, you know, all very purpley, bluish type flowers, and so those colors very much inspired me to create this look. So if you guys like this look and want to celebrate the next full moon, go ahead and keep on watching. Hey guys, so I already did my eyebrows and primed my eyes as always. First, I'm taking some RCMA no color powder on a dry blending sponge and creating a little bit of a line, a little bit of a guide for our eyeshadow. And then I'm heading into the Element of Surprise palette by ColourPop, and I'm first picking up the shade Go With The Flow. And I'm using this as my transitional shade. I'm putting this into my crease and my outer corners and inner corners, blending it all through, and I'm really layering up on this pigment because we will be using some darker shadows. So I'm applying this mostly with circular motions to disperse that shadow evenly, make sure that we have a nice gradient going up towards the brow bone. And then heading into the Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm picking up the shade Burnt Orange, which is just a slightly deeper orangey shade, putting that sort of in the same places on the crease in the inner and outer corners, but I'm going a little bit lower with this. We're not going to bring this up as high just yet. We're going to build up this gradient, this shading that we are creating. Once again, applying this in mostly circular motions just to buff everything out, and then doing a little bit of reverse blending, going back in with that Go With The Flow shade. Next, picking up the shade Realgar, I'm going to do the same thing as that burnt orange shade, circular motions in the crease and inner and outer corners, leaving that space on the center of the lid open because that's going to be where our halo eye is. Going a little bit lower, blending it into the colors that we laid down previously. Once again, doing a bit of reverse blending, so right back in with that burnt orange shade, and then with Go With The Flow. Now we're really going to deepen up that eye area. So I'm picking up the shade Silk Street, which looks much darker in the pan. It's actually kind of a medium warm purple shade, and I'm laying this over that darker orange, that Realgar shade. So I'm putting it on the inner and outer corners and a little bit into the crease, but I'm keeping it very low on the eye, and I'm blending it into the orange so that everything flows right into each other. Then, as always, doing some reverse blending with the same colors as before. And then I'm grabbing my Anastasia Beverly Hills Self-Made palette, picking up the shade Deep Purple, and I'm taking a fluffy brush and I'm dusting it on those inner and outer corners. I'm blending it into Silk Street first, just so everything is very smooth, and then I'm going to build up the pigmentation with a denser, flatter brush. Doing it with these steps is going to make the blending process a lot easier, and it's going to minimize the chances of losing pigmentation on other shades. Now doing a bit of reverse blending once again, and this is when we'll start bringing the colors up a little bit higher. Now I'm going to brush away that RCMA powder to leave a nice angle at the corner of my eye, and then I'm grabbing some Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Fair on a concealer brush, and I'm going to slowly build up this halo eye area. We're going to create some negative space just over the iris of my eye, and we're going to bring this negative space up towards my crease. It's a lot easier to control the concealer if you use swiping motions rather than shimmy motions. I don't know if you can see what I mean here, but it's easier to drag the concealer downward than it is to drag it from side to side. And then without setting down that concealer, I'm going to go into my Anastasia Beverly Hills Artist Palette and grab the shade Unicorn. And with a flat brush, we're going to pat this shade onto the edges so that it blends into that deep purple shade. And this is also going to help define the shape for the halo eyes. So you want the negative space to be wider towards the top and thinner towards the lash line, almost like a tornado shape. Now grabbing the shade Subdue and spraying it with some NYX Dewy Finish Setting Spray, I'm going to pat this onto that tornado shape right in the center. This is such a pretty magical color. Retouching up that unicorn shade, making sure that the two shades blend together. And then once they do, going in with some reverse blending. I know, so much reverse blending with this look. but it's necessary to make sure that everything is smooth and seamless and professional looking. Then grabbing my Stila liquid eyeliner, I'm going to just line my top lash. We're not creating a wing at all. This is just going to give us a little bit of definition and give us something for the fake eyelashes to blend into. Then I'm going to go ahead and magically apply my foundation, bronzer, contour, and we're going to go back into the eyes with some Ulta black liner, putting that onto my waterline. This isn't the most pigmented liner in the world, but it does the trick. I'm taking a little bit more of that deep purple shade, putting it right up against that lower lash line, blending it with the black from the waterline, and then smoking it out with Silk Street. Finally, I'm taking Go With The Flow and blending it all out to blend it into my skin tone, and then we'll head into my blush. So for blush today, I'm using my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in the shade Nude Exposure, blending it on my cheekbones towards my temples, and then for highlight, I'm picking up my Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild Glow Kit and mixing the shades Purple Horseshoe and Blue Ice, putting that onto the tops of my cheekbones, and heavily applying the mixture on my inner corners. Now for everything else, I'm grabbing my e.l.f. Baked Highlighter in the shade Moonlight Pearls. Get it? Moonlight? Haha. So I'm putting this on tops of my cheekbones, my nose, my cupid's bow, and then brushing away that baked powder underneath my contour. Spraying my face with some Pixie Glow Mist. This is just going to help the powders melt together, and using my damp beauty sponge to help intensify that highlight after. Then grabbing my Kat Von D Lock-It Setting Spray to make sure that it all stays all day, once again intensifying that highlight. And then for lips, I'm first heading into my NYX Lip Lingerie in the shade Corset. This is sort of a pinky grayish tone. I'm applying that all over my lips, and then because I felt it was too cool toned, I'm grabbing my Ofra Liquid Lip in the shade Pasadena and applying it right on top. The gray base gave it a really interesting undertone, and I really love this lip mixture. Now curling my lashes to prepare for mascara, and today I am using one of my favorites, my Buxom Lash Mascara, giving that a good coat on my upper and lower lashes. Applying my Pixie Clear Brow Gel to my brows to make sure they stay in place. And then finally grabbing my Ardell Foam Mink Demi Wispy Lashes. Alright guys, so this is the completed look. I really like how it turned out. I love how the spotlight on the halo eye kind of looks like a moonbeam shining down. So if you guys like this makeup look, go ahead and leave me a thumbs up. And if you like me, click that subscribe button down below. Special thanks to Katie Birch. Thank you so much for your comment. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.